Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2 Awakening, where we have about 20 things that need to be done, and they all need to be done right now. And this is going to be a big prioritization episode. So the first thing we have to address, and pretty soon, is this. We are losing influence rapidly, but we're losing it to a law that I think is pretty valuable for us, and I'd like to keep running. So we need to build another Temple of the Lost. I was having a look around our systems and stuff. I know that we had... I think I had decided last episode on a place where I wanted to build the temple. Here, it would not be terrible to put it up on this world, for example. We could build a temple there, since the output of this world is almost entirely science that we don't get, but that is a little bit distant. Like, we gotta make a move in the next few turns here. So I'm thinking about Columba. I think that Columba 3, which is not entirely science output, but mostly science output, and as such, just kind of a weak planet for us, this would be a great place to put up a Temple to the Lost. And then we'll move some population over to that world, and that'll solve the problem over here. And I think we can afford to just rush that. Let's just get that done right now. Okay, one problem solved. The next problem. We are at war. We are at war with a player who doesn't seem to take the war very seriously. I don't know that he actually intends to ever, shoot at us, but we should be ready. Does that mean that we want to move ship designs up? The thing is, I really want to get our trade companies established, because trade companies level up over time, and if we want to hit the level of income that we need to win a trade victory in a reasonable amount of time, we have to get these started. Frankly, we should have started them before now. Obviously, there was some tricky stuff with our science going on in the early game. I think we don't change the order of this stuff. I think we just want to accelerate. The ability to colonize ice worlds obviously is pretty important. We cannot shirk that. So I guess we're just waiting and hoping. So far, the Hisho have not actually been aggressive. We have no reason to think they're going to fly over and attack us in the next 2 turns, because they don't have ships, so I guess we'll find out. And then we also have the issue of all of these minor factions. So the quests we've gotten from them are not super difficult. We're totally going to intercept the kidnapper's vessel. We're totally going to make it to 18 or more buildings built, and we're constructing stuff very quickly everywhere. The problem is that we are now over our colonization limit by 1. Right now, it's not having a huge effect. I don't know... Yeah, you can't just mouse over this and see the amount that it's decreasing stuff by, because it's decreasing it on a colony-by-colony level. But you can see there, 10 approval loss from over-colonization. Each new colony we gain is going to increase that value. I think it's just by a flat 10 every turn. Or every new colony. So you can see, we're going to get pulled out of Devoted pretty quickly here. Yeah, it's a lot of problems. We got a lot of problems. I'm not really sure how we're going to deal with that, but I don't think it's worth slowing down. So, let's just hit end. I think we're good. I think we're good for this turn at least. Do I have hacking operations running? I totally do. Okay, everything's fine. We should talk about sleepers a little bit here. If we get enough sleepers into another player's empire, we can start, siphoning off their resources. Obviously, that would be cool to do, but the difficulty with getting sleepers into an empire where you may end up actually trading blows with them is, we might start taking over planets that our sleepers are on, and thus reducing our total sleeper population. And that is a Hisho Scout. Let's have ships move up to NGC 10801 here and get into guard mode, because the ship is flying in that direction, right? Yeah, that's the nose. Alright, we'll catch him there. We probably will not be able to shoot him down. He'll retreat, but we'll chase him. And as you have seen, retreating costs an awful lot of health. It's not something you can afford to do a bunch of times. Okay, now we are good. Let's go. Hold on. Yes. Listen, sometimes the turns are going to get a little bit on the long side, and my chair just descended several inches. You know, it's getting a little old. I'm going to have to figure out... Maybe it was hacked. Maybe the Hisho hacked my chair. Okay, your hacking op was discovered by a defensive program on Dill. So they're going to run that trace back. I mean, not a ton we can do about it now. We're already running the encryption and everything on Columba, so Columba has been hacked. Okay, that's not entirely ideal. Really, just not too much we can do about it, though. Okay, all of a sudden we're at plus 155? Was I misinformed about the amount of influence we were getting last turn? Well, I mean, whatever. I think Columba being a temple, it makes sense and is fine. Obviously, making more temples means we have access to more of the relic slots in our empire. At this point, I really don't feel like we can take them off of science, but this at least gives us some options later. Oh yeah, and this alliance. I think I'm gonna take the alliance. There's a couple of things that this does. Obviously, it puts us into war with the Sophons. It also gives us vision of everything that that the Lumeris own. So the amount of information we earned there, I think, is almost worthwhile just itself. We also can see exactly what the Sophons are up to militarily. So they have some medium-sized ships with pretty okay stats. The middle line, unfortunately, I can't mouse over it, because if I move my mouse, that'll disappear. But the middle line there, with the above where it says projectile energy balance, indicates that this ship is an aircraft carrier. It is carrying smaller fighters. They have some bombers there. Bombers are not very good at fighting other small ships, but they do good work against like large capital type ships. We've discovered the home planets of these two civilizations. Okay, war isn't convenient. That's a good sign. We might be able to talk them out of it. So the alliance has another big effect, another big important effect, and that is that it ties our victories together. So now we either win or lose as a unit. You can see now we have to control a larger number of star systems in order to win via conquest, but it's not as large as double the number of planets. So it gets a little bit easier to win via alliance as long as everybody is pulling their weight. We can reasonably expect, I think, the Lumeris to at least try to pull their weight on dust generation. I think this is going to be good for us in the long term, and with the Sophons talking like they don't want to be at war, let's see if we can talk them out of destroying our friend here. So what might they want? I am not interested in giving them systems. We can't trade technologies because you have to advance your empire development a little bit more before you can make the most complicated kinds of deals. We could offer them a lot of resources. So sometimes you'll see terms will have little pluses or minuses next to them, indicating particular interest or disinterest. Unfortunately, nothing we have is triggering the particular interest. Except, of course, for territory I'm not willing to give up. And it looks like maybe offering them Transvine actually made the deal worse. Yeah, we're just not going to be able to make this happen, I don't think. Alright, never mind. It looks like so far the Lumeris must be doing alright in the war, although they're definitely not running very many ships at the moment. Okay, but they do have their own medium ship design, a more aggressive design. They might be okay. I'm going to say this. The AI is really bad at war. Oh, yeah, they have a bunch of big fleets at the Lumeris homeworld. You know what? They probably have it under control. We don't need to worry about this. Oh, that's why my influence income changed, because that law got cancelled. This is a thing the game does sometimes. It used to be the case that laws did not have any cost to re-enable, which meant that this thing it did where it sometimes cancels your laws even though you can absolutely afford to pay for them for several more turns was merely an annoyance. Now every time it does that, it's actually stealing my resources, so that needs to stop happening. Let's just move some guys over to here. There we go. I mean, that's something. We're close. We're close to being settled. We could make another Temple of the Lost somewhere to push us over into actually being positive on influence. This is part of the problem with a strong growth strategy like we've been running. Our empire population is considerable and probably one of the largest amongst players, but our laws are really, really expensive. Alright, we gotta make sure that we are setting the trap here. Alright, the Academy fleet is backing off, which I really appreciate. So these guys are going to reach this thing next turn. If we, at the very beginning of the turn, just mash the execute planned moves button, we might be able to get there before this guy takes his move for the turn and catch him there, which hopefully will complete the quest. We're also definitely going to launch the colony ship. Yep, and next turn we will have that under control. We'll be able to actually settle on Auriga and thus win this thing. Feeling pretty good about that. Do we want to... No, this is not really a place where we want to build another temple. This is a place where I want to build pretty much everything else. Yeah, man, these two worlds are really good for us. Actually, Virenc 1 isn't too bad either. A straight 12 industry is pretty significant. So there's a little bit more food here, but if we move everybody over to here, we'll get better use out of like our interplanetary transport network. So I guess we don't really need to move people until this is finished, but once this is finished, we should bump everybody over. And what are you guys doing? We're going to go check out what's on the other side of that wormhole. Okay. I think we're pretty well set then. I guess Columbus should be building warships, right? So what can we have vision of their fleet. Let's have a look at their ships. We're seeing all energy weapons, all energy defenses. So we probably want to redesign to defeat that. Just to say that we need to have all energy defenses. Probably what they've done here is they have designed to counter us. You'll see the AI do this periodically. It'll redesign all its ships to be good against whatever you're doing. So you must also participate in the arms race. Now, unfortunately, we still have very, very basic weapon modules. Let's see. They're all energy weapons. I should have actually looked at which weapon systems they have, because we could tell whether they're lasers or beams by their range indicators. So you can see the beams do 19 DPS everywhere, while the sync lasers are doing 21 DPS at medium. Oh wait, we have I think we do have. Yeah, this is the second tier beam weapon. That's right. We found a design for a beam weapon somewhere. Well, shoot. Let's just use this then. It's almost as good as the first tier laser at the first tier laser's optimal range, and way better everywhere else. It doesn't have quite the crit chance that the laser weapons have, but still definitely our best option. So you can tell when something is higher tier by, like, you can see here, like, this is a great example. This plating has one like little tile of plating. This is a tier 1. This is a tier 2. It has 2 little tiles of plating. This has 1 laser, but this has 2 beams. This is a level 2 beam. I appreciate those little things that make it easier to tell at a glance what is going on. And then we can build a couple more of those. Actually, we should also look into a design for our other ship type. So we have here these wardens. I guess a good place to start talking about this would be to look at the actual bonuses on the other ship. So this ship is an attacker role ship. It has the ability to focus fire with your flotilla quickly. Obviously, you can't manually target, so you're reliant on combining good types of targeting AIs together. And then just plus damage on weapons. The other ship design we have access to is a little bit more of a tank. It tends to attract enemy attention, and it gets bonus defenses, so let's get some defenses on this thing. It also has access to some modules that can only be installed on these more defensive type ships, like, for example, increasing our ability to kill enemy crew, which sometimes matters. There are sometimes good reasons to focus on killing enemy crew rather than killing their ships. For right now, though, feels like we should just fit for energy. I guess we could be installing ram scoops over our basic engines. The basic engine just has 3 movement points, but this is 3 movement points and also extra distance from each. We also have access to Hyperium engines, which are a little faster and give a tiny, tiny amount of dodge. But the ram scoops become way better than Hyperium engines the moment you're equipping more than one of them. I think I'm going to go for a weapon system in this weapon or support slot. But I'm wondering if maybe we should vary things a little bit. I'm just thinking, the turn when they readapt all of their ships and all of a sudden they're all energy defenses and projectile weapons, we might want to have some projectile stuff on board just to be ready for that. And I like the slug type weapons as a good mixture between offense and defense. If they swap over to missile type weapons, we can just shoot them down. Those mass driver type weapons are also more effective against enemy fighters, which is nice. Alright, we can pay a little bit of dust to retrofit all these up to that new design, and let's get some more going. Let's get ourselves a couple of wardens next, and then we'll build some more attackers afterward. We're still going to be hard-pressed to resist them if they show up with any like actually modern ship designs, but I think there's a pretty good chance that they're not going to. Alright, we are going to make this happen the very earliest it can possibly happen. I am mashing this button. Come on, get me to Takal. We didn't get there before he did. That's fine. If he turns around and leaves, he's just going to go back to a place where we have guard mode, so he is now trapped. We don't need to see the little thing here, so let's just go ahead and put down on Auriga. Because you know what we need is even more colonies. I do wish that the unique planets had unique colonization videos as well, because I believe this is the same video you get whenever you put down on an ice world. I do like the colonization videos quite a bit. And there's functionally no food here, so we are going to be overwhelmingly, again, dominated in our settling process by food ships coming from the capital, so I'm not going to bother doubling the amount of food the planet is outputting. It said colonize or create an outpost on, so we do have an outpost on another unique world. Hopefully that'll just fire at the beginning of next turn. Our hero over here is leveling up. We may want to... considering whether we want to bump him from Ying to Auriga as soon as it finishes, because if we do, then obviously farming logistics is of somewhat limited value. I guess Optimal Operations Expert would not be very valuable either, though, because he'd be moving to a place where there's only one population point. Yeah, we'll take... farming logistics is probably right, no matter whether he stays in place or gets moved. We've also discovered the planet Kairos. Kairos, when discovered, was a planet whose environment was so welcoming that it was taken by many pre-Dust Endless sects as their promised paradise. Unfortunately, conflict and strife exploded over its care and exploitation, and a Grey Goo nanobot plague was unleashed as a suicidal doomsday weapon that destroyed the biosphere. It exists today only as a memorial and object lesson. Where did we find that? Ah, I see. Over here, where all of the pirates are. That really is a lot of tiny, crappy pirate ships. Does our guy have enough health to flee? It looks like we'll survive a flee. But just barely. And then we're in friendly territory now. Oh, we're in friendly territory, but there is a pirate ship over here at the other end of this line. Well, hopefully it'll be gone by the time we get there, because otherwise our ship is definitely dead. Our remnant population boost ended, and we do in fact have the resources to rerun it, so let's just rerun it. Let's focus on getting a couple of population types up per game. Got that done. Okay. So, we should, every turn or two, just come back over here and make sure that nothing new has happened. Yeah, I don't know why the Hisho declared war on us if they weren't ready to actually do a war. Actually, that's not true. I believe it is the case that it's been a while since I played them, but they might get some bonuses just for being in the war state with other people. So there may very well be good reasons that they did the thing they did there. They might not just be the AI being kind of weird and bad, which it sometimes is. Okay, you are just headed this way. Actually, we've revealed a bunch of new curiosities I could have explored, I suppose. And maybe I want to. I don't know. We'll see what this probe yields at the beginning of next turn. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more ships. So you guys are good where you are. Okay, I think we're ready to move on. How far are we from the next system upgrade level? Okay, quite a few technologies. We're going to finish commercial frameworks and extreme atmospherics, and then have to get one more, and then in between that, like, we're talking about probably not this video. Not a thing we have to worry about today. I'm sorry for this. This is maybe going to sound a little bit weird through the microphone, but I'm going to try to fix my chair real quick while the computer's taking its turn here. Because I would love to not be 4 inches lower than I set myself at the beginning of the video. So there's a reason that I put myself up there. Okay, nope, it's just not going to stay up at all now. Great. What a good time for this to break. Okay, hey, we did it. Quetzalcoatlus is, you know, we're going to have to, we'll call him Cal. Hey, Cal, how's it going? Free hero. We've discovered the home planet of the Unfallen. That's what's down there. Okay. And then, I guess, yeah, you just want to come back. At this point, we're not exploring curiosities for favor, but rather just because at some point we're planning to own this system. It would be nice to know what all the stuff on it is. Ooh. Hey, check that out. Orichalcix. That is one of the highest tier strategic resources. You can make some pretty great stuff out of that. However, you have a hard time finding enough of it to actually build anything out of. The two highest tier strategics are actually very rare. Well, usually one of them is very rare. Oh, also, for some reason, that happened when I tried to open up that quest log. There we go. You have learned a new name. The structure of the Academy is both ancient and complex, and different Pathfinders, Isyander's first allies and supporters, fulfill key roles. It is in this way that you hear of Colorless, an oddly named Craver, who is both a fanatically loyal follower of Isyander and the sharp edge of the Academy's power. Leader of guards, fleets, and troops, Colorless is known to be unforgiving both to the enemy and to his own soldiers. Cold, professional, and unrelentingly driven, Colorless found once again in the Academy the home and hive whose loss had set him adrift. By the way, I don't know if unforgiving to your own soldiers and professional are really the same thing. I guess it depends a lot on what exactly is meant by unforgiving. As the right hand of Isyander in all matters requiring physical force, he is the Academy's greatest military hero. As an interesting side note, the Tamad-class hero ship is named for a multi-limbed martial art developed by Colorless after studying many races, including, improbably, the Kalgaros. I don't know why they say improbably there. The Kalgaros are, like, all about martial arts. They're a peaceful people. They practice their martial arts for, like, spiritual reasons, I think. But, like, the one image you get of the Kalgaros is them doing martial arts. Colorless has indicated that it would be nice if you could assign a certain hero to a certain role. It would be an exceedingly bad idea to disagree with this simple request. So put your hero in control of a unique planet and watch them closely. Assign Quetzalcoatlus at level 7 or more to the system Tikal. Okay. To get advanced extraction research, which is pretty good, actually. Yeah, plus 50% dust on colonized unique planet systems. That's real good for us. Especially considering that one of our unique planets is a very high dust world. Level 7 is going to take a little while to attain. Okay, he came in at level 5, actually. He needs 125 XP to get up to 6, and then presumably like 150-ish to get up to 7. That's not so bad. Plus approval on system. Let's get some of that. That seems important. And then this would end up being 15 science for 2 points versus like food and industry. I think I probably want to take the food and industry. Alright, let's get you assigned just somewhere. Really anywhere will do. Should try to do it in a place where we could potentially absorb a new system into our, yeah, like here maybe? Here will work. We just need him to be somewhere so that he can get some XP. So heroes are constantly getting small amounts of XP. You just get like passives. We talked about a little bit how you get XP when you are a fleet hero, exploring new planets, exploring curiosities. Also, obviously, space combat gives experience. Governors get experience whenever a thing completes in their system, and the amount of experience they get is based on the industry cost of the thing. So, if we just build some stuff up real quick here, we can buy it out even. That should get him leveled up quickly. We should also probably put up some industrial zones. And then... oh, also this. Also that should happen. Here, let's do that thing. Alright, that scout has hit our blockades. Let's just attack it and drive it off and then chase it to wherever it ends up going. Honestly, for this being a lone scouting vessel, it's embarrassing how close this battle is predicted to be. It would like to be fighting at medium range... as would I. Yeah, okay, let's just take trophies. He may not run after all. Nope, he stood and fought and really didn't do that well. See, this is a problem. He divided his damage. Alright, what do we want to do here on Ying? We have a ton of... I mean, you don't really need to be over there. Yeah, we have a ton of food coming in. Not actually all that much industry, so maybe I do want to move some people to Ying too, but we have to be careful because this planet has a pretty significant approval modifier. People do not like living on the Ash world. Let's see, what does Ying actually need? Not much, really. I think maybe this is a good situation. We're producing a lot of food already, but I guess we have a fair amount of population space left. Let's go ahead and get crop seeding. We probably don't need both the food buildings. And then we'll just start putting up some of these kind of inefficient science buildings. I mean, we're still benefiting from them, just not as much as we would like. You're cool. So when a fleet is in guard mode, it ordinarily will not ask you for orders, but if another faction's fleet is at the same node, it'll be like, hey, you want me to shoot these guys? We probably do not want to shoot those guys. You just hang out for a minute, generate some more probes, and over here in Wasat, okay, we have gained the ability to counteract the metallic waters. We can reduce the metallicness of them. So this should take off the negative effects of the anomaly while leaving the positive effects. We figured out how to counteract the bad things that are happening here. And then... I don't know, we could build a Temple of the Lost over here, maybe? If we wanted to. I don't know that we need to. But we're getting so little out of this planet already. I don't know, let's reduce the metallic waters and then we'll think about it. We already have a thing that needs doing here. Okay, we're not quite at 50 with these guys, we will be next turn. So with you... we'll totally intercept that vessel any moment now. We have 5 turns to finish 4 buildings. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're all set. We will get that done in time. Cutting it a little close, but we'll get it. And obviously, we could have put some money into it and just rushed a bunch of garbage somewhere if we had to. Alright, we have faction sovereignty over the Nashast. These guys have not quite arrived at this node. They'll be here any moment now. That is a probe. Is that the Lumeris? I think that's the Lumeris colors. It's kind of hard to tell when they're all lit up like that. Yeah, I think that's Lumeris and not Sophons are more green, right? Yeah. Okay. So we don't have to worry about that. That is not providing information to anyone we are afraid of. That one scout fleet no longer has bonus vision. The lobbyists for your empire's banks have been assailing your senators for weeks with demands to ease some of the regulations on their operations. Oh, that's a good idea. In particular, they're requesting looser restrictions on letting ordinary citizens in space travel ventures, and on ensuring ships heading out for long-distance voyages. They promise increased financial gains for your empire with minimal risks to your financial future. And hey, only almost everyone will suffer. So if we approve plus 20 dust on each system in the empire, but we could create a major economic crisis, or we could deny them, and doing that will increase the upkeep of all of the systems in our empire for a little while, but also we'll get a bunch of approval. Our approval situation right now is pretty tenuous, like we're ecstatic in a bunch of places and devoted overall, but only just barely, and we're probably about to expand to another colony, so I think I'm going to take the approval boost here. It's not really that much extra money going out, and the approval boost could end up being worth a lot. Alright, let's see what the Nashest want. Please, help me. The Nashest slumps in the sand, sobbing. Waves break on the shore, the wash racing up the beach, soaking his lower half. You stare out at the endless ocean, thinking on his incredible story over and over again. He told you that on this very same beach, 20 of his years ago, a strange being in a strange craft landed here and took away his son. He was powerless to stop it, but he remembers one word the being said, Iskvola. He carried the word for years, never giving up hope of one day being reunited with his son. And then he heard it uttered by another visitor, a being who called himself a member of the Vodyani. Iskvola was the name of an ancient ruin somewhere among the stars. He wants you to find it and learn what you can about his son. This is a little awkward. So we've already explored a lot of the curiosities in our part of the galaxy, and I don't think we've left any ruins behind. So I imagine this quest can't even fire if there are no ruin curiosities left. Probably there are some somewhere, but this one we might not be able to get. Because who knows where it could be, right? All of the stuff we have left on Xanados is subterranean, right? Yeah. Well, we'll look around a little bit. We'll see if there are any other curiosities. We revealed the other high tier strategic here, which is awfully friendly for us. Actually, really nice to have a source of both of those so easily. We have increased our ability to find curiosities, but I really think we've rooted out a lot of the ruins. Yep, subterranean. This is going to also be subterranean. All the new stuff is going to be subterranean. So I'm not really sure. I don't know that we'll be able to get this. It could be the case that on some systems where there haven't been a lot of players, there could still be early game curiosities that are unexplored, and those may well be ruins, but I don't know, I don't know how we would reliably find those. We're going to have to find things like Mayal that are just kind of off the beaten path. Speaking of which, Mayal, you have some stuff. Do you have any ruins? Atmospheric, subterranean, and life form. That's a shame. Yeah, we might just be out of luck on that one. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world. The Nashest are certainly not a great population type. They're not powerful. They don't have a good trait, so I'm not too heartbroken about it. We could specialize this planet, and probably should as it begins to populate. So we could go evolved soils. We probably don't need to, though. Colonial exchange is not great here. I mean, it's still one dust per citizen. But maybe it would be a good idea to make this like a spin project area. I'm just thinking we're cutting it pretty close on the amount of influence we're producing here, and because we're giving birth to new people all the time, our outlay for our laws is going to keep climbing all the time. Now, what do I want to do with this scout? I suppose we can get vision of whatever node they have put a marker on here. I'm assuming this is a Sophon-owned system, which is why they've attached an attack flag to it. And then I guess we can just, fly over there and generally just discover new stuff. I mean, I imagine any node that we can't see is owned by the Sophons. There's probably not a lot of unowned territory over here. Alright, you guys are all good. There's nothing that we need to do urgently. These guys are still not interested in leaving their home system. Out of curiosity. Atmospheric and signal. Okay, so he's not really exploring his stuff all that well. That said, still no ruins, but that does mean that out in this empire there could potentially be ruins. There's also relics. I would love to get those relics. Hey, my empire manpower is increasing. Unfortunately, with these truncated values, we don't actually know what the manpower cap is there, but... where's our thing here? Reach 2,850 manpower in your empire. It says we're at 2,750 right now, so this is rounded up. Okay, when I mouse over it here, it tells me an actual exact value at the bottom of the tooltip. I'm not sure why that increased. When we built those bunkers, did that increase our total empire manpower amount? I don't think so. It increases the defense capability, so that, yeah, the man with like the little, it looks like he's holding a little circle, that's the system defense capability, the amount of manpower that can be in this defense value. These guys do not count toward our empire manpower pool, which is drawn off to fill the defense pools of systems or the crew of starships. I'm not actually 100% certain why that number went up, because it was 2,550, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm not 100% on that. Oh, there's a ruin curiosity over here at Hadel 3. Maybe that will be the one. We sure have to hope that's the one, since it's the only one we can even see. Maybe it's a good idea to have this guy start moving in that direction. Oof. Alright, well, long flight. We could retrofit him somewhere, maybe? Like, just have him go to Esh instead. We'll retrofit there. See if we can't install some better engines. We do have slightly better engines than we did when we acquired him at the beginning of the game. And a quick scan indicates there's nothing like crazy going on out here. I don't know where this guy's flying to. Yeah, the direction of his travel is leading him to a node that we cannot see. I'll be very curious to see where that ends up. Alright, and also, this turn, the ship is finally going to hit a node where we are already in guard mode, where we are ready to intercept. There we go. Finally, that quest completes. Actually, a whole bunch of stuff happened there. So first of all, we built all of our buildings, got a hold of the Pulsos. Okay, somebody else got to level 3 before we did with a system. That's a shame, because that building is neat. We got ourselves some Pulsos, we got ourselves some Mavros, because we intercepted that vessel finally. A curious story emerges once your soldiers have the kidnapper in laser shackles. Those sound like a really bad kind of shackle. The Mavros believes that the representative he kidnapped was in secret talks with a shady organization named the Academy. You say nothing. All you really care right now is the addition of the Mavros to your growing empire. Yep, they got me. That is, in fact, the only part of this I care about. And we gained control over... Oh, Tellus, this is the middle constellation, yeah? We are the only people, I think, who own any systems on Tellus right now. It's not a very large constellation, so actually we own more than half of it. Nobody will ever be able to take Tellus from us, which is awesome. Because that's a good constellation bonus. And we have hacked Dill. I guess we just keep embedding sleepers. We could create a backdoor. I'm going to keep just taking over their population. Bit by bit. So let's just launch another identical hack here. And we'll go ahead and install an accelerator on them as well. Trying to get the hack done here before the trace that the hack inevitably will trigger can get back to us. Plus 10% bandwidth cost for all enemy programs on this system while your hacking op is ongoing. Hard to imagine that being worth the bandwidth, frankly. Right, because you're paying an awful lot of your own bandwidth to slightly mess with their bandwidth. Oh, we already have a scout headed in this direction. I forgot that we were sending the guy from the north side all the way over here. So this dude does not, in fact, have to do that. Well, I'm sure we'll find something useful for him to do. And then on Kochab, we should probably move some people over to the temple. Actually, I'm just going to put everybody on the temple. And then maybe we want to build some food buildings, right? Because actually, we have a ton of luxury deposits here. This would be pretty good. Trying to keep us in positive influence for as long as possible. Alright, I think it probably makes sense to do this. Let's try to improve the output of that world. Which world should people be on? They should be on Xanados 1 as much as possible. Oh yeah, and Pulsos in particular really want to be on a world that has an anomaly. Ooh, that does take the system down to unhappy though. And it already has the basic happiness building, and it's still that bad. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, this world has -8 approval from the type, and then -4 more from the high gravity and the metallic waters. I mean, it's better. It's better if we move some people back. Hold on, let's see if we can hit a threshold here. We can get to content with just a single loss of 5 industry. Maybe that's worthwhile. Yeah, let's leave them barely content. That'll have to do. Picked ourselves up another fleet. We should probably start moving some of these ships, some of these crummy medium ships up toward Columba. It is going to take them, yeah, wow, forever to get there. And unfortunately, because these ships aren't made with our designs, we can't retrofit them. They're as good as they're ever going to be. We should also make sure that we are actually merging all the ships here together so that they can fight as one in case we do get invaded. I think it's reasonable to leave one of the fleets over here. When we get Zenith, provided we do get Zenith, we'll get another fleet there. And keeping people in defense mode on these 2 nodes will help prevent a sudden invasion from the Unfallen or whoever might live on this arm of the galaxy. Yeah, our birth rate is like, really is prodigious. So why are we making so much less money? Did we drop? Yeah, we dropped down below content, or we dropped down below devoted. Well, is there a good way to fix that? I mean, we could run Make Love Not War, which would give us 30 approval, because we have an alliance now. We probably wouldn't want to run that alongside My Precious, so we would lose some money, we would lose some luxury resources, which are also money. But I sure do love being happy. This would be another 168 influence per turn. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna swap these for the moment. And then that means we actually could make use of this law slot, right? If we wanted to put in something that only costs 1. Trusted Broker is not amazing, but we are building ships in some places. Maybe this is a good idea. We could also run these unpartied laws that are that have 0 upkeep, but obviously have a significant trade-off. I think I'm inclined to just leave it empty for now. We will be building more ships. We'll put this on eventually, but for right now, maybe we just bank some influence so that we have a buffer in case we need to run a little overspendy for a while, which totally might happen. Alright, we should probably figure out what is going on in these, and then also that needs to get done. Look at how happy the Mavros are on their weird lava planets. It's actually kind of strange that they're so well suited. I guess they have those environmental suits on, right? And yeah, somehow I am allowed to finish building Endless Research Park on turn 69. What else can I say but nice? And that might push us up through the threshold for Living Plague here. It did not, and we got a lot of other stuff done. So we need to get to 177 industry, and yes, it's just still not enough science. Well, we can work on that. So we were the ones who got the Wonder. We also hit the manpower amount that we needed. Wow, our manpower jumped up really high. But you know what? Each each system must be improving our manpower. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember if I even ever totally understood all the sources of manpower. It's as long as you're focused enough on food, you don't really have to think about your manpower very much. A lot of your manpower just comes from your birth rate. So as long as your population is growing, so is your manpower. Alright, we suddenly have throngs of ambassadors coming to express their goodwill and peaceful intentions. They worry about me. Wonderful. Let us see how the ecclesiarchs of the church view me now. So we've got our improved fleet management, which is fine. It's not exactly the tech I would have wanted, but, free stuff. You know what they say about beggars and choosers. For me, the difficult thing about wielding great power is that you become annoyed at the ineffectiveness of people who don't. The ecclesiarchs appear hesitant, in spite of a clear mandate. They frustrate my efforts to achieve the glory that the Nakalim lords once had, and I cannot accept that. It is time to make it clear to them, and to the faithful that they claim to represent, that the Nakalim Empire is the preeminent power in the galaxy. And that I am the incarnation of that power. Okay, maybe my head's getting a little bit big here. I will see the prophecies realized, the lost returned, our enemies ruined, and my people thriving. I will not stop before the Academy and Isyander himself if I must. Okay, I read that a little funny. I will not stop before the Academy and Isyander himself if I must to make these things happen. Nope, it's written funny. That's not my fault. I have been told I lack a sense of proportion and realism. This may be true, but I do not lack ambition or vision, or the ability to read words in the correct order. So if we just take over the Academy through sheer military force, we get the Temple of the Denasirde, which is a non-unique system improvement that we can build all over the place. Lots more influence. If we gift 17 systems to the Academy, which seems just like a huge number, we can take on the Galactic Faith Museum. That's a lot of influence. Or I will convert more than peoples. I will convert entire biospheres to our cause. We can unlock evaporation inhibitors and climate engineering to get... Oh, wow. That is a pretty good building. Evaporation inhibitors and climate engineering, I think... Yeah, that's that. Climate engineering is right there. Those are both technologies that we have access to, and they're not even really hard to get. Granted, science is the place where we are most bottlenecked right now, so taking on some additional things that we were not going to research before as a quest objective is maybe non-ideal, but I also, as much as I want to try out the giving systems over to the Academy mechanic, I don't think I want to do 17 of it, and this seems unlikely. We know that the Academy has, real combat fleets, and I need ships at, every corner of my empire. I guess we're going to take this one. And we'll just go ahead and click these into the queue so that I at least remember that we are going for them. Who knows when we're going to complete that? Alright, so I was going to retrofit you, but instead you're just going to search curiosities for us. What else can we extract from this minor civilization? We have not done colonialism at them enough. We must take everything. The analytical engine. A thing we can build in one place to give us dust for discovered curiosities. That's fine. I mean, it's money. It's money, right? Alright, we have invested enough science to get a free technology, and it was maximized exploitation. That is this. Okay, the AI labor building is totally fine. The ability to colonize lava planets is actually very welcome. And that means that when we finish frameworks and atmospherics, we will have access to level 3 system developments. Obviously, it's a little bit less good than it used to be when it was going to get us the Ultra Wealth Sanctuary. It's nice that it's the Lumeris who pulled that off, though, because that dust is still effectively counting for our victory. Found some of that stuff, and also some of this stuff. Man, we are going to have no problem with the strategic resources, and in fact, we're going to be able to make an awful lot of money off of people with all of these high-tier strategics. Yeah, let's take even more influence. Apparently, we can never, ever have enough. So what do we build in Esh now? Oh, well, first of all, get that to level 2, and then I think it is in fact just time to build crummy, inefficient science buildings pretty much everywhere. We still just need more research power. I would love to grab the relics that we're seeing hidden at nodes around here. Oh, I thought that pirate base had one. Or maybe I can only see it when my own ships are around the thing. No, that's definitely not true, because we could see that there's a relic at the, over here at the Hisho homeworld. I'm assuming nobody else can extract them. I must just be misremembering where I saw it. My point is, we definitely saw a few, but we cannot take them safely, unfortunately, at the moment. We should maybe try to expand our alliance. Okay, we were discovered by a defensive program on Andromeda. And we have an accelerator running. There's not much we can do here aside from that. That should finish before they manage to trace that thing back to us, because that hack originated a significant distance away. It's one of the benefits of doing a hack over a long distance, is that the trace takes forever. We did not chase dreams effectively. I don't even know what the reward for that quest or for that legendary deed was. I have no idea what part of the tree that was even in. Okay, is there anything else we want to do here? We have enough ships that it's not going to be totally free for them to come and take our stuff. How many command points do we have left in this fleet? How big is this fleet? Yeah, I certainly don't want to build 6 more squares to completely fill it. Maybe we'll just leave it for now. We'll focus on building some other stuff, like increasing our ability here to make more ships is probably a good idea. AI labor, sadly, not very good on this particular system. Oh, I guess you don't need to hang around. We explored all the stuff there. You'd come over to Takal and open this up for us. How close is that other scout? Still 2 turns away. Oh no! This Lumeris scout got here first and searched all the stuff. Well, that's very inconvenient. Shoot, what do we do with you now? Where could you go that you would be useful? I mean, I guess you could go to Mayal. We know there's no ruins there, but it bears examination either way. Right, gotta finish running the queues here. Virac 3 is at least hot, and Virac 1 will give us a ton of production from this. So yeah, let's make that. That's gonna be... Let's see, this is 40 production, this is gonna be 5 production... 8 times. Okay, so very similar it turns out. I guess we'll build them both. And then we'll pick up Virac 1 after that probably, because we're going to need more population room eventually. Alright, let's finish these commercial frameworks. Wait, did I remember to actually put stuff into the queue of all of the worlds that were in that notification, or did I just do one and then pass the turn? Alright, Dill is trying to counter-hack us again. It is not going to work. The arrest of the spies creates something of a scandal, but during the public trial, your skillful political testimony convinces the majority of your population that your government is a shining beacon of light in a sea of darkness. Subsequent execution of the spies demonstrates that, despite being bound by the truth, you are no soft touch either. So, okay, 10 turns of big approval bonus. I'm a big fan of that. We are being called by everyone in the entire galaxy, which is making me a little nervous. What happened that was so important? I also see this. They did finally deliver a fleet unto us. Alright, lots and lots and lots of berths. On Ying, perhaps we should consider building some ships, but also, we now have access to trade companies, so we're going to have to think about that. Hold on. We'll come back to building in a second here. What is all this? They would like a truce where I give them a bunch of stuff? Hold on, we'll consider it.
For desperate times.
Are you going to help us win this war? I might. I may well. Ah, the Horatio and the Sophons have joined together, which means that we meet Horatio. Where is his stuff? Do we have any indication? Not really. Okay, that world that we were looking at is in fact a Sophon world, as we expected. The Lumeris attack on Primus did not work out. Yeah, you know what? I'll pay us out of this war. For you, my ally, I will do this. Is this a ruin by any chance? Nope. Well, still worth exposing luxury resource or strategic resources for her, because again, like any sales that she makes reflect well on me as well. Okay, let's talk about this battle, and then we'll talk about the trade company. So over here we're being attacked by 14 ships, 259, 131, against 135, 158. So we're being attacked by almost twice as many ships as we have, and each of his ships is considerably better than our own. I believe I'm just going to retreat. We did not build up enough to fight these guys. It is possible that they will just drop manpower on Columba and try to make it difficult for us to survive here, but Columba is pretty well defended. I'm not too worried about them taking it over, especially not with the amount of manpower that is available in 14 small ships. One of the big advantages of the larger ship modules is that you can just jam a lot more people in them, so you can drop a much more considerable military force on a planet, and then there are other things you can do to increase your ability to invade worlds. It doesn't look like these guys have done any of that. You can see right below their health there, each of the small ships is carrying 100 manpower, which is the default amount that a small ship carries. Columba has 1,100 people, 1,100 manpower worth of tanks in its garrison, so right there we probably beat them, and that's before you consider the improvements that we've made, the tractable armaments, the bunkers. I'm not afraid. Alright, so trading companies. We have to, in order to get our trading company running, we have to build a headquarters somewhere. Then we will build a subsidiary somewhere else, and a trade route will run between the headquarters and the subsidiary. We want them to be as far apart as possible, and we want them to go through... where's the... yeah, here we go, the trade indicator. I guess we don't actually get to see the economic values until we have the trading companies built, but each system has a different trade value. This is the diplomacy view, which I don't use very often, because it does not give you a lot of information that you need, in my opinion. If we zoom into the system level and then hit... yeah, here we go, okay. So your trade factors, your trade efficiency, which is affected by these factors. For some reason the mouse over doesn't work at this zoom level. There's definitely, if we go out to here... I thought it showed you the actual numbers, the actual trade value generated by those factors. Okay, well, never mind. We will be able to see that once we have our trade companies up. But we want to build the headquarters and the subsidiary far apart. We want the path to travel over as many nodes as possible through high population systems with preferably like governors who have good economic skills and stuff like that. But we also don't want the trade routes to run over any territory that we don't own, because then that makes them much easier to blockade. So, like, part of me wants to go Xanados to Ying as our trade route, but I'm a little worried that the Academy would be a problem for us. Any system in between where they have a fleet in guard mode is going to break the trade route, I think. So I'm going to try to run it from, like... Kochab to Ying, maybe? So we'll start building the headquarters here. It'll take a few turns. And then we'll come back and check on that next video, because that's going to be a little bit of a process getting that set up. Alright, let's see what's over here. I'm going to guess Sophons. So at this point, nobody is very close to any victory condition. It's turn 71, and that's actually pretty late in the game. We are probably more than halfway finished. In terms of turns, it'll be more videos to cover the back half of the game than the front half. But we have to keep an eye on this power block of Sophons and Horatio. 2 other civilizations working together is what it's going to take to beat the team that we've assembled. No one AI is going to be a threat to us anymore, in any way other than militarily. So we'll have to keep an eye on their victory progress in the future. For now, of course, that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time, tomorrow, when I'm hoping to finally get our economic engine really turning and drive some numbers up. You know how I love that. And we'll see you then.